In order to excel, you know what you have to do? You have to start leaving some folks behind. Now this is tough. I'm not saying this haphazardly or like it's easy, because I've been there, right? You have to start leaving some people behind. And I mean people that you know and that you love. And let me clarify, I'm not talking about your spouse. But you have to start leaving behind people that you know and that you love, people who've been in your circle for years. 5, 10, 15, 20 years even. Why? You go, why do I have to do that? Because here's the problem, right? While you're moving forward, doing what God is calling you to do, trying to excel and be great, this person who you have been in relationship with, they've stayed right where they are. Not only have they stayed there, they're probably regressing. They're going backwards. So you're moving forward, and they're actually moving backwards. So now you have a tension in your relationship with this person. Now the tension at first was just kind of like, okay, they're staying where they are and I'm moving forward. But then there's even more of a tension, right? Because you can imagine a rope. One person's pulling this way and the other is pulling this way. And that's what a lot of our relationships look like when we're trying to move forward and excel in God. And there is a person who we're bound to, and they're pulling in the opposite direction. There's tension on that relationship, and all you got to do is let go. Right? You have to be willing to let go and let God, because this person is not going in the same direction you're going. They're not trying to grow like you're growing. They're not trying to be great like you're trying to be great, right? You're ready. You're like, I'm experiencing change. I'm experiencing growth. I don't want the status quo anymore. And that's when it gets tough. When you're around people and they go, okay, I'm comfortable, and you're going, I'm not comfortable. And I never want to be comfortable. I want to move past the status quo. But you're holding on to this person for dear life. You're holding on to them like they're Isaac. And the promise of God is going to be fulfilled through them. But really, they're your Ishmael. Right? They're your Ishmael. They're in your life under false pretense. You thought they were going to do one thing, but they're really there to do something else, which is distract you from the real thing. Is there anybody who I'm talking to, right? The relationship you have with them is an illegitimate one. Listen, I can't stand up and walk around, but that deserves a good amen. Because there are too many of us in relationships with folks now, and it's illegitimate. God didn't call for it. God didn't tell you to do it. You decided to do it yourself. Now God is trying to get you to get out of it, and you don't want to get out of it. That relationship that you're in right now is not supported by heaven's agenda. Listen, if God's not in it or behind it, I don't want no part of it. And sometimes it's not this big obvious thing where there's this foreboding evil that's existing in a dark cloud that's hanging. Sometimes it's just, wait a minute, you don't belong here. I don't belong here. And so you got to do something about it. You got to make the hard call, just like Sarah and Abraham had to make the hard call when it became apparent that tension. They were pulling this way, and Sarah and Abraham were trying to go this way. It became apparent that it wasn't working out, and you know what they had to do? They had to separate themselves. They packed Hagar's and Ishmael's bags. They dropped them off, and they said, listen, Abraham said, listen, may the Lord be with you, and may he bless you. Listen, let me tell you something with the folks you got to let go, because sometimes we think, oh, I'm being mean. No. You don't have to be mean. It's not about being angry with them. You don't have to be mad at folks when you leave them and say goodbye. You can bless them, right? You can bless them. You can love them. You can say peace and prosperity be upon your life. But listen, here's what I know. I hadn't even for my life. Leaving you doesn't change God's plan for me. Leaving you doesn't even change God's plan for you. But here's what I know. The plan is not for us to be in it together. Listen, once you get clear on what God has for you, there are some people who you are going to have to say goodbye to. And I mean, you can say a goodbye to them. It doesn't have to be ugly. It doesn't have to be nasty. You ain't got to put it on social media. It doesn't need to be your new status on Facebook. You don't have to talk in cryptic codes on Instagram and Twitter. You don't have to do all that. All you have to do is say goodbye. Give them a goodbye and a God bless you and move towards what God has for you. Because hear this. Because even if you don't choose to do that, even if you don't choose to leave, know this, God's will still will. Let me say that again so you can catch that. God's will still will. In other words, God's plan is still going to be his plan. God's desire is still going to be inevitable. The outcome that he's destined is inevitably going to happen. Because God's will still will. Even if you won't, God's will will. Even if you don't, God's will. Even if you turn around and act like you didn't hear him, God's will. Even if you deny it, God's will. Even if you dismiss it,